Good morning. So while I'm here in Reno waiting for my backpack to arrive, I thought that I would tell you all about a phone call that I got while I was in the Rochester airport waiting for my flight. I saw a restricted number come up. When I answered, it was Lindsay from the U.S. Forest Service. And she was calling about my revoked permit. So at first I thought she called because somebody told her about my video and basically thought I was trying to make trouble. But no, she knew about the video, but she apparently calls every hiker whose permit gets revoked. And she is the final decision maker in the process. So here's some things that she told me. She called the ranger that invalidated our permits and spoke to him, got the story, and then repeated it to me to make sure that she had all the facts straight. And I said she did, except he said that we were over the 35-day limit, which we were not. We talked through the whole thing, and I expressed my frustrations with the fact that if I had known and understand the wording and how they're defining the word continuous and what that means for my hike, I might have made different decisions. And the fact that everyone, okay, not everyone, but so many hikers do the exact same thing, it just didn't occur to me that I shouldn't be getting off trail. Now, I'm not saying, well, everybody else does it, so I shouldn't get in trouble. That's fine. If I did something that was against the permit, I'm willing to accept the consequences. No one is telling me that I can't hike, so I still can hike. I just have to get individual permits for each wilderness area that requires a permit. So it's going to be more of a pain on my side of things, but it's not like I'm done and I can't hike anymore. So as we went through the conversation, she definitely listened to my concerns. She told me why it's worded that way and why they try to leave it open-ended. They don't define, well, you can get off trail for 6 days, but you can't get off for 7. They don't say you can go 100 miles, but you can't go 150 miles off trail. And they do that so we as hikers have flexibility, but on the other hand, which is good, but on the other hand, it makes it hard for someone like me to know, okay, I really shouldn't have left the trail and gone home. The ironic or coincidental thing was I was actually at the airport coming back to the trail from getting off a second time. And you can say, okay, I'm not a thru hiker anymore. I'm a long section hiker or whatever you want to say. What I've read normally is that it's considered a thru hike if you finish it in a year. And that's my goal. I mean, I still have a life. A lot of people can get off for the whole time, but I couldn't. I had some prior commitments, so that's fine. But knowing what those prior commitments would do and what effect they would have on me would have been good. But anyway, so I was at the airport, so I couldn't say to them, oh yeah, I only got off trail the one time. I was very obviously at the airport. And I wouldn't have lied anyway, and just said I only got off the one time. But she said that she could just give me a warning, but it really seemed like, since I got off a second time, that I really should get individual permits. And she was nice. She was understanding. She actually almost teared up a little, I think, when she said, I don't want you to end your hike. I want you to continue your hike. And I'm going to. Losing my permit doesn't mean I can't hike the trail. It just means it's less convenient for me. So basically, she said there's only one other place where I might have trouble getting a permit. And as long as I'm flexible enough to do a walk-up permit that day, it should be okay. I really heard what she had to say as far as the purpose for the way that they word the permit and the purpose for being a little more strict around the Yosemite area is because they're trying not to overrun the lands that we love. We don't want to see hundreds of people, in each area as we go through. We don't want big crowds everywhere we're hiking. So they're protecting it for us. They're protecting it for the land and for the environment and for the animals and plants that live there. But, you know, the ranger who I had the interaction with, could he have done that differently and in a more, you know, positive and kind manner? Absolutely. But it is what it is. I'm not going to whine and complain. Well, I'll probably whine and complain, but I'm not going to rant and rave. So I'll have to get permits. I'm already looking into it. I've got a couple screenshots of the PCTA website because they list exactly each place you have to get a permit, and then there's a link to that place. And so I'll have to figure out probably how to print a couple when I'm, you know, off trail, but it shouldn't be too terrible. A lot of the permits are walk up and they're free anyway, or like they're just like you go to the trailhead and fill out a piece of paper. So, I mean, she said any hiker that skips a section should then start getting local permits. You're not supposed to skip. It's a through hike. We all know that almost all the hikers do, and many switch directions and many take time off because they're injured or they have obligations or they want to wait out the snow, or, you know, the list goes on, or fires. I mean, for fires, obviously you have to skip, when she did say that. But anyway, it is what it is. I didn't get my permit back. I'm okay. I'm going to keep doing my hike. I'm frustrated that I had to get off twice in the middle of the hike for work, but that's reality. So, all right. Wish me